Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a New American Town podcast. This is Aaron Mullins. I am the Director of Communications and Marketing for Visit Bentonville. We are very excited to have you with us today because in the studio, Haxton Road Studios, right off of the downtown Bentonville Square, we have a couple of amazing gentlemen with us from Thaden Field, Chip and Steve. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
So my name is Steve Johnson. I am the Director of Programs for Fly Oz, which we're going to try to explain what all of that means at some point.
Right.
But basically, what my job is to get people from all over the country into this airport to do fun things flying in this area and experiencing what's going on in Bentonville.
Absolutely.
I'm Chip Gibbons, a long-term resident of Northwest Arkansas. Grew up here and been flying here for a number of years, over 40 years now. So my role at Thaden Field is very much like Steve's. We work together to try to promote Northwest Arkansas to pilots.
Well, that's great because obviously our work at Visit Bentonville is very much about promoting the city, all of the amenities and opportunities that people have here. Thaden Field is a big part of that. So for the people that will be listening to this podcast, wondering what is Thaden Field, what is Fly Oz, where did all of that come from? Can you give us a little bit of that history and how the airport got started and the name in particular? What's the significance there?
Sure, I'll take that. The name was changed to Thaden Field in the early 50s, 51, I think. Named after Louise Thaden, who was an aviator, female aviator. She flew with the likes of Pancho Barnes. And, she was a record-setting aviator. She beat the guys in the Bendix Trophy race, and quite a character. And she was born here in the early 1900s in Bentonville. And so they named the airport after her then. And we're very proud that it's Thaden Field instead of anything else. We're very, very happy with that. The Fly Oz concept is a little trickier to explain. We want more and more people to begin to come into Northwest Arkansas as pilots. We have some really interesting things to offer here. So our role, Steve's role and mine, is to make sure that we get the word out for pilots who love to come and do active things like mountain bike or camp or fish or any of those things that are so great to do here in Northwest Arkansas. We have a really unique opportunity for those pilots, and we just try to get the word out. And that's what Fly Oz is about.
That's fantastic. And seems like we're starting to see more and more pilots aware that Thaden Field is here and sort of aware of Bentonville and Northwest Arkansas in general.
Right. Steve's had a lot to do with that. Steve knows every pilot in the United States. So,
well, that's helpful.
So he's getting the word out.
Not quite. No, so one of the Thaden Field, the Bentonville Airport is really sort of a hub or a launching point. We kind of think of it as for all of the stuff that's going on in the area. So our boss, Chad, always likes to say that there are 68 different runways that we can access within about 68 miles of the airport. So most of these are airstrips that are held by private landowners that have we've worked with to give us access to those areas. And a lot of those are right next to maybe the Kings River or the Buffalo River or these other kinds of things. So it creates recreational access that's otherwise hard to get to. So that we try to draw everybody into Bentonville first. One of the things about flying is you have good weather days and you have bad weather days.
Right.
And recently we've had a lot of bad weather days. So when somebody shows up here, we want to be able to say, hey, well, let's go rent a mountain bike or let's go to a museum or do something else. Let's not just, it's not just all about flying. So it's really nice from that standpoint because oftentimes we go places, Idaho is a great example, where it's all about flying. Once you get there, if you're stuck on the ground, you're just going to be, sitting around the campfire waiting for it to stop raining or whatever. So it's really a great offering here.
Yeah, no, that's so true. We do have so many different things that people can do both indoors and outdoors while visiting Bentonville, which is great. And when we have people come to town, and obviously we have a lot of high traffic coming through our front office there at Visit Bentonville. People are always asking, like, where should we go? We always talk about Crystal Bridges, Momentary, the Walmart Museum, the Amazeum, Mona, the Museum of American History, and so many others. But I always point people to Thaden Field because just love it out there. And when you begin to explain to people that it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, but it seems like, the way you guys have built Thaden Field and the concept is that it's making aviation accessible really to everyone. So
That's
obviously
absolutely right.
to pilots, but I love the fact that you can go and sit in Louise, your restaurant there, and be that close to the runway, and just the feeling when you're there, like how close you are to the collection of airplanes that you guys have there on the ground. Can you talk to us a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, that was all baked into the design of the new facility. One of the things you'll notice that's a little different about our airport is the fences are low. Where there are fences, any new fence that's been built is low and decorative and looks nice. It's not the high barbed wire fence you see at most airports. Our idea was it's a community asset. This is not for pilots. This belongs to the city, and we wanted people to be able to enjoy it. So we tried to build an inviting environment. We have an observation deck that anyone can come and watch airplanes take off and land. Louise is a fantastic restaurant with great views out.
Absolutely.
We have a little retail space. We've got a display hangar that people can use for special events. We've had weddings and concerts. And so we've really tried to make it a place for people to come and connect with aviation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just north there now is the Osage Park that's been built and getting really close to being fully open. But it's amazing now how, on a nice day, how many people are accessing that outdoor space. And I think it's just going to get more and more popular. There's probably 5 fishermen there right now fishing.
Right.
So I mean, we just see this all the time. So that. Part of it was another tool to draw people into the airport, because I think generally speaking, people are, I don't know if they're afraid of airports, but it's just kind of like it's not necessarily something that they feel that they are allowed to go be part of.
To people, right?
Exactly. So I think, we're inviting people to come down there, and I think that's all part of it.
Well, it does feel very inviting when you show up there. And then, the way Osage Park has been built next to it, it just all seems to flow together.
All part of the plan.
Yeah, all part of the plan. I'm sure. Well, it's working.
Yeah,
it's working. Yeah. And every time I drive by, I'm like, when is Osage Park going to be open? I know. So we're all very excited to.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's really going to be fantastic. And so let's talk a little bit about the programming. Some of the programming you guys have at Thaden. So are there opportunities for sort of backcountry experiences and flights? I know you have a flight school that there's a waiting list for that, I believe.
There's a waiting list, yeah. It's a very popular school.
Yeah. So a couple things. So one of the things that we have done there, a lot of times in learning to fly, let's just take somebody who's getting their pilot's license. When you go to an airport and you learn to fly, when you finish your pilot rating, sometimes that's kind of all there is. And unless you get connected in with a community or find some other things to do, you kind of stall out there a little bit. So we've done some things here. We have the Oz1 Flying Club. So once you get your pilot's license, now you have the ability to join this club. You have access to some nicer planes, cheaper than you'll ever fly them anywhere else in the country, certainly cheaper than owning them yourselves. We have a social club there. They do events. So it takes these new pilots and any other pilots, connects them together and gives them opportunities to get together and socialize and that sort of thing, which is really the kind of the glue that keeps people interested in it. Because just like anything you do, whether it's boating or flying or all of these things have to have a social aspect to it really for people to keep doing it. And so we've done a really great job there. Jordan Haught that runs the flying club has done a really great job of kind of bringing all that together. So that's kind of the piece. Then we offer this backcountry piece on the outside of that as well too, where we have pilots coming in literally from all over the country and and probably all over the world to experience some of what we have here because it's so close to Bentonville. Mm-hmm. So sometimes when you go to these other places, they're 1,000 miles away or 200 miles away or that sort of thing. So here we have it really easy to get some training, some real world kind of training we can do with folks from in a very short distance in a really nice environment. And then they can go hang out at the museums, or their spouse or significant other, whatever, can hang around at the museums in the afternoon while they're doing that. So
absolutely. No, that works so well. What would you say, and I feel like we've covered some of this already, but just trying to drive this point home, I guess, like, the distinction of what makes Thaden Field so special versus what you may find at similar airports, around the country.
So I get the opportunity to fly to a lot of different airports as part of my job. And I'm always taken by that fact. We are just different. That is a leadership thing. As much as anything else, we are encouraged to always be welcoming and to be helpful and offer great service. And we really like people, and we like people to come in, and we love it when we have people that aren't familiar with aviation at all that come in and are just kind of awestruck by it. That's a lot of fun for us. So we get a lot of comments from pilots from all over the country who show up, and it's like, I had no idea that there were places like this. We are very, very unique. From the architecture of the building, Chad likes to say that, we're not a dumbed down hotel lobby. This is different. Right. It really is. It's spectacular. So, I mean, it is a consistent message from our leadership that we want to be different, and we want to do this differently. So that's what we do. Absolutely.
And you do it so well. It's just so, again, just so welcoming to everyone. That's why anytime we have visitors in town,
well, thanks,
we send them your way. We know, we know that they're going to be well taken care of. So what can people kind of, expect the rest of this year? Do you have any big plans or anything you can share with us?
Well, we got a few things going on. There's some of them are kind of technical with regard to the airport, lengthening airport runways and things that most people don't care anything about. One of the things that we're very, very excited about is there's going to be a tunnel that goes under the runway that will connect the park on both sides so that people can go from one side of the park all the way around under the runway to the restaurant and back around. It's going to be really fantastic.
Biking, pedestrians, that sort of thing.
Wow.
Not a car tunnel.
Oh, yeah, thanks for that.
Is there anything else like that that you know of at any other?
No.
It sounds so unique as well. Yeah,
absolutely.
But again, it's an effort to try to just connect the people to the airport.
Right.
Yeah, it's really.
So we're really hoping that with COVID, depending on how everything goes with COVID, we would love to start back into having more events in the hangar. We love that. We're hoping to have some music in the hangar. More weddings, more people coming in and taking advantage. We have a lot of people that take advantage of the conference rooms that come in for day-long events. And so we're hoping that kicks back up again because we enjoy seeing those people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because, another piece of what we do at Visit Bentonville is really helping to work with meeting planners and events. And so your space really is great for small or larger meetings. Like you said, the hangar, it seems like the back porch area is just really fantastic for events as well. So if anyone's listening to this podcast and interested in that, connect with us at Visit Bentonville. We'll work with the Thaden team and help make that.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We love it. Well, guys, I think this pretty much covers anything you think we missed or.
Nope, just everybody needs to come out to the airport.
Exactly.
Well, we're going to make sure that happens. We've got some exciting things in our back pocket as well at Visit Bentonville. You're going to be hearing more about Thaden Field this year from us. I should also call out, you guys have really some fantastic videos in a YouTube channel that's really highlighting sort of what's happening at Thaden and a lot of the flying experience in Northwest Arkansas. And so people need to follow Thaden on social media, check out the YouTube page. At the same time, make sure you follow Visit Bentonville. Check out our website for all the information about Bentonville or planning your trip that you'll need. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have a pretty robust YouTube channel as well. And Steve, Chip, appreciate you guys. This is fantastic. And we will see everyone next time. Stay tuned.